our acceleration here in the Trail Boss, and this is the most important part. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2020 Chevy Trail Boss, and this one has the 6.2 liter V8. Yes, we are finally doing a Trail Boss with the 6.2 liter V8. So, as always, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Chevy here in Murray for providing us with the truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's just get right into the video. Under the hood of this Trail Boss, again, is the naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 19 on the highway, with really impressive power figures of 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end of the Chevy Trail Boss with the 6.2 liter V8. You can see the little badging right there that says 6.2L, which obviously stands for 6.2 liter. And then you can see the full LED lights here, and hopefully that kind of shows you just how bright the lights are. And then you've got a little LED accent light. Parking sensors all across the front. You've got the red tow hooks, which I think is a really nice accent on it. Your fog lights just down there below. It's kind of all blacked out here on the front end, including the Chevy bow tie. But there's just one more look. Around the side here, we've got 275mm tires on 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then if we pop over here, you can see the tread pattern here on the off-road tires. Super aggressive. And then the Trail Boss does come with a 2-inch lift from the factory, and you can see the suspension here, which all looks pretty cool there at the front end. But that's everything on that part of the side. Got the Z71 badging right here. The mirror is interesting because it's got like the plastic right there, and then it has like the painted black at the top. Just kind of an interesting look right there. And then yeah, you can put mud flaps right there if you want. And then you can see the Trail Boss logo there at the back. And this truck's massive, so it takes me a second to step back. There's your whole view. Now here's the key fob for the Trail Boss. You guys can see you've got the Chevy logo there on the back. You've got the unlock, the lock, remote start, and then the release for the tailgate. The remote start's pretty simple. You do have to lock it, and then just hold down that remote start function, and you'll be able to hear that 6.2 liter V8 come to life. Hold that down again, and that'll shut it off. Now press this twice, and that'll lower down the tailgate. This particular Trail Boss does have a bed liner already. You can see that there's a power outlet just under this little plastic covering. And then you can see you've got the LED lights on either side of the bed. And you can see a little camera right up there. That'll come in handy later in the video. But yeah, there's kind of like your full view of the bed. And then lifting up the tailgate, really light. Now let's finish things up here in the rear. You can see that you've got the LED lights, and if we actually pop the key fob out and press the unlock button, you can kind of see what those look like. Yes, we're spazzing them right now. Anyways, dual outlet exhaust. You've got the parking sensors all along the rear, and then you've got little steps here on the side that make it so it's easier to get in and out of the bed on the Trail Boss, and that's everything for the back. Now coming here to the side, you guys will notice that you've got gloss black for the door handles, which I think is pretty nice to accent the white paint. But opening up the door panel, looking here at the rear, you can see you've got the padding right there, and then you've got a little kind of like wood trim accenting. And then over here, you can see the seats here in the back, and you guys have seen this a million times, but still got to show you. We've got the little storage space back there on the seat, and then you got the rest of the seats. In terms of the softness on it, it is kind of like smooth, or not smoother, sorry, rougher to the touch, but these seats would be really easy to clean off if you did take this off-roading. And then you can see there's some storage underneath the seat itself. And here's kind of like an idea of size, but more importantly, let's pop in so you guys can get an even better idea. So step in height actually isn't too bad, but I would recommend side steps. You guys can see legroom is pretty good if you're wondering around about 5'11". And then in terms of headroom, it's pretty solid as well. And then with the rest of the back, you can see you've got some cup holders right here. You got little power outlets and then a full 12 volt. And we've got some more cup holders down there. So that's everything for the rear. Keyless entry here at the front. So same button that locks it is the same button that unlocks it. Make sense? Makes sense. So, looking here at the door panel at the front, you'll notice that it looks pretty much identical to the rear with all the touch points. The only difference is your window controls, door lock and unlock, and then that speaker for the sound system, which, I mean, you guys can read it right there, Bose sound system. But here's the seat at the front, which is like awkwardly tilted forward right now. But anyways, you can see same as what's in the rear. So these seats might not be like the smoothest to the touch, but they'll be easier to clean off. You've got your adjustments on the side of the seat. It says Z71 right there. And then down here you can see the little pedal layout. You've got your parking brake right there. You've got controls for the lights. And then you can see that's your drive mode select, your drive line select, and then your light controls for the rest of the lights. And there's one more look before we pop in. Now let's start her up, foot in the brake, push start, and, well, everything will come to life. Oh my gosh, so much air conditioning. Turn it down! Here's the steering wheel in the Trail Boss. If you zoom in on the steering wheel, you can see these are the controls for the center stack. You got your voice command controls, your phone control, blacked out Chevy logo, cruise control on the other side, heated steering wheel button. That's the stock for the windshield wipers. And then you've got a column shifter. Now you can manually shift the gears yourself with those little buttons right there. The thing that's the most interesting is the sound that it makes when it unlocks with the column shifter. So you press the brake. It's just kind of like, obviously you can't move it, and then you can move it once you unlock it, but it's just kind of like you can actually hear the clicking. Now here's the rest of the center stack. So you can see you've got RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed, and then you do have that little itty bitty screen, and that basically just shows you different bits of information on the truck. So you can see you've got your home, and then you scroll by and you can see that you've got the information on the vehicle itself. You've got your music, you've got your navigation, phone controls, and your settings and all that. It is in demo mode, so we can't like see the full layout of it, but you guys get the point. Now last thing is with the drive mode. So you can see that little trailer pops up when you go into the tow haul mode, and then you have the rest of the drive modes. So you've got the normal, sport, and then your off-road mode. Pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now here's the center infotainment system. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Chevy's infotainment system, but before we go over that, here is the backup camera, and you can see here you get a cargo camera in a 1500. Most 1500 series trucks don't offer cargo camera, so it's cool that Chevy does that. And you got like a zoom in when you are going to be hooking up to a trailer. But resolution on the camera is really solid, and that is definitely a winner for me. Even though you might not think this is that cool, I definitely think it's cool. Anyways, with the rest of the infotainment system on the 1500, once this kind of goes away, response time on it's really solid. You guys can remember my Camaro ZL1 had the same infotainment system. I really liked it. It was really easy to use. The Apple CarPlay was really easy to use as well, because I've got an iPhone, and that's all for the infotainment system. I've got this whole kind of like mess of controls. You can see right up here you've got the controls for the radio, and then you've got your climate controls just down below. It is a dual zone climate. Heated seats, no ventilated seats though. Blank switch, can't remember what's supposed to go there, but it's blank. Anyways, your hill descent control, that's for the power outlets. Your stability control, your hazard lights, that's to drop down the tailgate. Your auto stop start to turn it on or off. If it's illuminated, that means the auto stop start system is on. Same with the parking sensors. If it's illuminated, that means that they're on. And then you've got the power outlet just right there, and then you can see you've got another little 12 volt. Your trailer brakes are already integrated, and then you've just got this little rubber thing for extra storage, and I'm not sure what that's for, but well, maybe you could like put your phone there. Yeah, we'll go with that. Now I got the center console here, and opening up the center console, you can see storage space in here is actually really solid here in the Trail Boss. And then you've got a couple of cup holders right next to it. And then you've got the glove box, which is a dual glove box, really solid on the storage space there as well. And you can see that you've got like the soft touch all around the dash with the stitching. Now up top here, you can see that we've got a sunroof. And other than that, you can see the rest of the controls. So like you got the control for the power rear sliding window up here. It is a gray headliner, by the way, so it's like a darker gray, just so you guys know if the color doesn't come through on camera very well. And that's all for up top. Now that we're done going with the interior on the 6.2 liter Trail Boss, let's quickly get into pricing. So this Trail Boss stickers for about $60,000. It's in the LT package with the 6.2 liter V8, which, I mean, if you look at like a Ram 1500 Rebel, which is kind of like the best comparison to this truck right now on the market, then it's priced right around the same price as kind of like almost a fully loaded Rebel. Not quite, but like kind of like on the higher end of a Rebel. That all being said, let's take her out and see how she drives. Let's talk about visibility here in the Trail Boss before we set off. So you can see visibility over the hood just like any other Chevy 1500. Then there's your visibility through both of the mirrors. And then here is all throughout the rear as well. So you can see all throughout the Trail Boss is actually pretty solid from a visibility standpoint. And that all being said, let's set off. We are about to set off, and just so you guys know, in the time period of me complaining about, oh, actually this was in another video, I complained about the temperature, and now it's like 10 degrees hotter. It's 102 now, up from 92, which just makes me so sad because my brain is like just completely frying right now. And oh, I thought we were about to get a lucky break with the traffic right now. Guess not, because well, I decided to like film my video during rush hour, which probably isn't the smartest thing, but you know, you got to do what we got to do. And I guess we'll be able to test this truck in traffic. But Initially starting off with the Trail Boss and the 6.2 liter, first off with the road noise and ride quality, I'm not really noticing a difference between this and the regular 5.3, and I just realized I had the seat like all the way down. I'm not noticing a difference between this and the 5.3. It feels about the same from those two things, sounds about the same as well. Not the engine, but like the overall noise coming into the cabin, tires, all that, everything seems the same with that. Now, in terms of like the overall visibility, I kind of showed you that, guys, before we started off, and yeah, really easy to drive around, even with all these people kind of all around us, which right now we're kind of like in a dead spot, but not too bad from a visibility standpoint. Now with the brakes are good. They're right where they should be. Now we're going to take a turn here and kind of see how the steering is. Super light, super light. Really easy to point the truck. The truck handles really well from a turning perspective, so I could tell you from the off-road, it would actually be really good. It seems like it's really easy to maneuver, and it's all for that initial part. Let's get our acceleration here in the Trail Boss, and this is the most important part. Oh yeah, buddy. I can feel a difference. There is a huge difference between this and the 5.3 V8, and this truck, like, this is what this truck should be. The 6.2 liter V8 Trail Boss feels really good. The acceleration's really strong, and comparing this to like the Ram 1500 Rebel, definitely feels a little bit peppier at the start. The top end, yeah, the top end feels a little bit peppier too once you like really get into it. And so I would say that this definitely feels better than a Rebel. Now with the rest of the stuff, comparing this to a Ram 1500 Rebel, the Ram 1500, you've got the rear end where you can actually like actively turn it on or off with the locker, whereas the system does it automatically for you, which is kind of annoying. The tires and wheel setup is exactly the same between the two trucks. This one has a 2-inch lift, the Rebel doesn't from the factory, so this one has better ground clearance from the front end from the factory. So it's, I mean, it's kind of like a toss-up back and forth. The interior on the Rebel is a little bit nicer, but then this one would actually be easier to clean than the interior on the Rebel. So it's, again, it's kind of like a toss-up. What I would say is this is a really solid off-road truck. It's kind of 6s comparing this to a Rebel. It just depends on what you want. If you want more like a luxury truck, the Rebel would be great. If you want a faster off-road truck that is easier to like maintain with the off-road, with cleaning it and all that kind of stuff, this truck would be better. So yeah, that's kind of, again, it's kind of a toss-up. But if you are getting a Trail Boss, if you're setting a Trail Boss, get the 6.2. Get the 6.2, get the 6.2. 5.3 does not exist anymore. 6.2. Done. That is going to sum things up for our video on the 2020 Chevy 1500 Trail Boss with the 6.2 liter V8. A huge shout out and thank you to the Larich Miller Chevy here in Murray for providing us with the truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in the next video.